Good evening. Welcome back to another episode of the Geekly Goods Roundup, number 81. We've done this 81 times. Awesome time. As usual, we have live film and TV news. We have lots of great things to talk about today. Aaron Pierre has been cast as Jon Stewart in the new Lantern show, the DC show on Max. We have Henry Cavill in a live Voltron movie for all you Voltron classic retro anime nerds out there. And also, I'm blanking out. Totally professional. Oh, Karate Kid. The official title for the Jackie Chan Ralph Macchio crossover is Karate Kid Legends, and we'll talk about more about that later. But without further ado, let me bring in our co-host Ileana.
Hello. How y'all doing?
Minus my brain fart. How are you?
No, I'm good. I'm doing great. A restful weekend for once. It's a long weekend here, and I'm excited. I'm excited to get into it. Really, really happy to see the crowd active in the chat. Hello, chat. How y'all doing? I love to see everyone tuning in every
Whoa,
Sunday.
holy moly. What's up,
Yeah,
chat?
chat's going off.
633 roundups for Laser. Thank you, the Laser.
Holy crap! Congratulations, Laser. We got to do
He's the
something when Laser
best.
hits 100.
Our backup co-host Mike. What's up,
Yes,
novice cinephile?
he is here.
Cousin Braylon, welcome back. Niners, baby.
Hello.
We whooping that booty in Seattle. God, you love to see it. Love to see it. Joe-san, it's been a while. Welcome back.
Right.
It's been a
Back
minute.
goes on.
And where's my cousin? So Leo will be with us shortly. Mr. Geekly Goods himself. So stand by. He will be joining us in just a few minutes. But yeah, good to see everybody. Arthur, good morning from Chicago. Or no, good evening from Chicago. Welcome, Chicago. G. Colby
What's
says, what's up,
up?
people? He's about to watch The Penguin, but he's just saying hi. Appreciate that. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you. Thank you for saying hi. Enjoy those Penguin episodes. I know I will tomorrow.
Yeah, and apparently, because Leo's been watching it while we speak, he's catching up on it. I heard it's pretty good. He says it's pretty
I'm
good.
excited.
So.
I'm into it, man. It's good.
Whoa, Mike. This is a
The
peaceful chat, guy.
animosity.
He's out here booing
Oh
Chicago. Marcel
Lord.
substitute. No, you did not, Mr. Joe-san. But you know what? It's okay. I forgive you. Substitute
Oh
teacher.
man.
Hey, I'm a part of this too. Uh,
The audacity.
I'm so touched.
Lord.
But without further ado, though, let's get into it. Lots of shows and movies this week, and I think we each have seen stuff that we haven't seen. Like you saw something I didn't see, I saw something that you didn't see. So what
Yeah,
have you been watching,
we
Eli?
haven't synced up, but I don't know if y'all remember, and y'all, I mean, chat. I know you remember. Last last Sunday, we were talking about like that whole conversation on the toxic fandom focus groups that studios are going to be doing now, and it came up in the conversation of Rings of Power and how it's one of those shows where kind of like the studio behind it is doubling down and standing behind it and letting that audience grow for rather than canceling it and just chop it, give it in the axe and moving on and make it another show instead of like actually investing time into it. A show as well on Amazon Prime. Like Amazon Prime, I really, really appreciate and respect for kind of going in for the long game with their shows. Legend of Vox Machina is on season 3 right now. It premiered like a week ago. They're kind of doing 3 episodes per week right now, so it tends to be a pretty quick season drop, but it is a wonderful animated series. If you are into Invincible, if you're into that kind of like adult fantasy animation, this is wonderful. It is based on the Critical Role like Dungeons and Dragons campaign series, and it's really good. It's just so fun. It is very much even if you're not into D&D, it is a really, really good fun series that is definitely rated R for adults, and it is super funny. So I've been enjoying the hell out of that, as well as Miss Agatha with Miss Agatha all
So
along.
Really quickly, the animation style reminds me of Adventure Time. Is that kind of accurate? A little bit?
I think that every season they kind of get a little bit more money because season 1 was actually crowdfunded.
Okay.
And it was picked up by Amazon, but it was like one of the I think it was back in 2019. It was one of the biggest like crowdfunded series ever, and they raised like $10 million. And the animation style was definitely more like Adventure Time at that point, but this season, they got shmoney, and they're really kind of integrating more, especially with the monsters that they have because they have a lot of dragons, more 3D-ish kind of a style of painted 3D painted animation that looks so cool and smooth, especially for those fight scenes. So I feel like it's Adventure Time, but just like up in the ante a bit, especially mixing
Okay.
those really one that I have seen recently and I feel like is very premium in terms of animation is Demon Slayer. I feel like it's giving that more than Adventure,
Okay.
but it's
So
definitely
Josan, Ile was talking about The Legend of Vox Machina on
yes,
Amazon Prime.
it
Animated
is very
series,
fun.
kind of adult, kind of adventurous. Check it out.
Definitely a fun time.
My mom is in the chat. Hi, mom.
Oh,
Love you, mom.
welcome.
And
Very
Josan, look,
excited.
this is my friend, okay? And he will be joining us for the duration of the month. This is
Exactly,
my
just the
spooky,
season. Every
my
Sunday's
spooky
Penguin
pal.
Sunday in every sense of the word.
He's fine.
Yes. And yes, Josan, oh, Vox Machina. Vox Machina is great. And I'm really excited for their next series, The Mighty Nine. Like I'm super hooked, honestly.
Whoa, Professor Aaron, where have you been?
Oh my
Really quickly, because we
gosh.
are going to talk about the Penguin briefly, but in a
Yeah.
scenario where James Gunn and DC asked you to cancel Batman 2 and 3, but guaranteed a perfect DCU era, would you kill the Batman universe
Good
or fuse it with the
lord.
DCU? No, I love the Batman.
No.
No, and I think Elseworlds is important. I mean, Joker 2, maybe not a good idea. But Professor Aaron, I think that there is a place for the Batman universe, and I think there's a place for the DCU. I think they can coexist.
For sure.
I trust James Gunn, so we'll see.
It is definitely wait and see.
All right, before we get into DC, though, we do have a Marvel show to talk about. And look, guys, should we do spoilers? Like, no spoilers.
I don't know. I feel like
It's so hard.
damn, it got spoiled for me within 24 hours on
But also, like, how do we talk about this episode without spoiling it? I just
It is rough. It is rough. I don't know. Chat, if you haven't seen it, maybe just mute just for a second here, just a quick second. But it has been all over the internet. Like
I know, I
even
was gonna say.
it is insane. Like I think even the big
So
trades have been just very open about it, just very
yeah.
brazenly
So
making articles about
Laser,
it.
I'm so sorry. Chat, we're gonna spoil a little bit because we cannot talk about this without just a little bit. Just a little bit. But
Just a pinch.
Tony, movie critic. Oh, where'd it go? Wow, lots of people here tonight.
Oh my gosh, full
Um
house.
Joe-san said I undug his grave and pulled him out. Leave him alone. He's my friend.
He's my friend. I love it.
Oh,
He's
here
your
he is.
familiar.
Tony movie chappie Neil Blomkamp fan. Welcome back. Good to see you. Alessio. Don't see DCU being successful after Superman, even if it's a good movie. Okay, we will get into this once we talk more about the Penguin, but let's talk about Agatha Long real quick. Okay, here's my problem. Like, I really like this episode, right? I thought it was cool that we came full circle. Like, episode, was it 3? We got the cauldron, we got the potions, we got a little bit of horror with like each person seeing the visions. Like, Alice saw her mom, and then there was like creepy hallway sequence. Like, I'm not even sure what was happening there. And then the potions lady was getting choked out by some doctor dude. Like,
Yeah.
what's her name
It
again?
was
No, it's like it's so
we
hard to
need
remember all like
yeah,
because they
quite a
don't
few. I know
like they
Lilia
don't
is
always address
Patty
each other.
LaPone. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. I think hold on, let me just go on this real quick here. Let's be
Anyways, but
professional.
so we got the cauldron in episode 3. Episode 4
Yeah.
was a little bit more funky. We got the 70s
Her name's
recording studio.
Jennifer. No one's ever calling her Jennifer.
I know. Jennifer. She was getting choked out in episode 3. And then
Lord.
this episode, we got broomsticks, which I thought was really cool. And they did it in a manner that felt fun and true to the show. It didn't feel cheesy. It didn't feel... Because it's so easy to make broomsticks cheesy. Like,
For
what's her
sure.
name again? Patty Lupone's point?
Oh, Lilia.
Lilia, to her point, she despises broomsticks because she thinks that it's like making fun of their culture and it's such a
Yeah, like it's
character.
cringe and
Yeah,
it's a symbol
but
of
I like...
domesticity and yada yada yada
Yes,
yada yada.
yes.
And then you had the two lesbians in the background just going, "Yes, we are wives." Just completely into it, no questions asked. Not their first rodeo. I was like, "Yes, I enjoyed this bit. I'm committed. Let's continue." I really like it. I love how they maintain the humor and it
Yeah,
still feels natural. It doesn't feel like a forced, kind of shoot in freaking like quips here and there just to follow a formula. Like it genuinely does feel like part of their dynamic. And which is a dynamic that not has not necessarily changed, but has kind of let go of certain pretenses, let's say.
yeah.
It
So
is
we get to it's our third trial, right?
this is the third trial, yes, which is supposed
Yeah.
to
So we
be
had...
Agatha's.
Oh, no, it's the fourth trial because we have the
Fourth?
studio, we have the wine, and then we have the potions, right? Or no, the wine
The
was the
potion
potions.
is the one, yeah,
Oh, so this is the third one.
two.
Okay,
This is the third one, yeah,
okay. So
because
we're on the
we
third
had
trial.
fire, and then the potions, and then now it's the spirits.
Okay. So we're in this cabin. They're kind of dressed up in 80s style. And I'm gonna be honest, like the aesthetic I love. I love the 80s. Sucker for
Mhm.
it.
Me,
We have
Sarah.
like a little bit of the Evil Dead. Agatha gets possessed. She turned into a
100%.
deadite from the Evil Dead, which I thought was fantastic. But at
Good.
the same time, it's like this episode was super rapid fire. I don't know how much we got out of that Ouija board session minus the Nicholas Starch thing, which is... it definitely feels like something for fans because I feel like general audiences have no idea who Nicholas Starch is, you know? There's no explanation, there's no backstory on that. And then we
And
get to the
it's
very,
so,
very end of the...
so funny sorry, is it so funny because Nicholas Scratch is like a character from like even if you were, I don't know, a Sabrina the Teenage Witch fan, you know who Nicholas Scratch is because it's just kind of like a witchy character from the folklore. So it's not even
Right.
like a Marvel original.
Right. Um oh, was it Leo? I didn't catch that. Oh, so it was said in the first
Mhm.
episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, keen-eared viewers will notice that. I thought it was kind of... definitely came out of left field for me, but I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." And then we get to where is it? Alice losing her powers to Agatha and in turn losing herself.
Mhm.
That was really
Possibly
sad. And
accidentally, possibly not.
yes,
Up
that
for
was sad and it was
debate.
interesting. It was like she was trying to help, but then she didn't realize yeah,
Yeah, she
very
kinda
sad
did
moment.
the thing that Agatha was kind of waiting for all along, but bah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep.
And then we get the big reveal. The reveal that has been spoiled to us for what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah, it's crazy.
But that was awesome though. I like the way it was presented. It definitely felt like a rushed episode. It felt like they were fast forwarding through this thing.
Yeah,
So,
I think
what were your thoughts
that's
about it,
kind
Eli?
of yeah, I it's kind of the weakness with a lot of these Marvel Disney Plus series for some reason. By episode 4 or 5, it tends to get short and it suffers narratively the exact same way, every time. It feels rushed. It leaves you questioning, okay, where exactly is this going? Because we were, at least in this case, fortunately, I feel like we had really, really good narrative rhythm. Every episode had an arc. Every episode, we were getting to know these characters more. Everyone has kind of a secret to reveal. Plus, we're getting the protagonist progressing through the story, which is Agatha, who we still don't know all that much about. interestingly enough. And I feel like that intrigue, man, the pacing of this episode really just kind of left that intrigue to the side and gave us a reveal that a lot of people suspected, but I'm just eager to see how they explain it and how we kind of wrap this up because I think it's definitely the one of the strongest cliffhangers that we've had, but the weakest episodes overall. And I guess we were, no matter what we were doing, we were gonna hit this wall eventually. And it took us till episode 5 to hit kind of a weak one. But I hope
Right.
episode 6 and 7 actually have an intimacy coordinator credited. So I have a feeling it's gonna be Flashback City. Yes,
Okay.
yes, they do. Low. So, I don't
Really
know, I'm not
quick,
getting my hopes up, but
really quick, we got some more people in the chat. Allie, hello, welcome
hi.
to the stream. Um, Tyler said that he thought that the Ouija board spelled out Mr. Shard and not Mrs. Hart, and I think it did, but Agatha played into it. She was, hi, and she turned into Mrs. Hart for a second.
Wait, whoa. Then who's Mr. Shart? Like, y'all thinking Mr. Shart's canon? Am I crazy? Like, is Mr. Shart a character?
Well, I could have sworn it was D, and then somebody said Mrs. Hart before it finished.
Okay.
I don't think the Ouija board was lying. I think it was saying Mr. Shard, but it didn't get to the D like perfectly. And somebody was like, Mrs. Hart, and then it just cut away. I don't know. Maybe I'm just speculating.
Okay. Perhaps.
Daniel, congratulations to your Mets. Welcome back to the stream. Arthur actually liked the pacing of this episode. He thought the other episodes moved at a slower pace, and he felt this had very little fat, which
all right.
I think that's interesting.
Is
what's up, y'all? Yeah, I'm here. I'm exporting a video right now, so I can't have my video on. But hello, I'll be on video very shortly. Sorry, I'm so late, everybody. Just catching up on the Penguin. I had a video to get done, and wow, what an episode! But we talking Agatha, so I'll get with y'all on that.
Yeah, but overall it's interesting, right? So
the Mr. Shark conspiracy is real.
So what's interesting, Eli, is I agree with you that it's one of the weaker ones, but I still had fun, and I think that's what's really
sure.
This show is really doing a good job. Even though it's a weaker episode, I still had a good time.
And that matters a lot.
Yeah, and the ending was strong, so it got me excited for the next episode, and I think that's good TV. I think that's what TV's supposed to do.
For sure.
Leo, I think you were kind of in agreement about the quality of this episode, but you still had a good time.
Oh, I had a great time with this episode. I just think it was way too short. I mean, I totally understand what Arthur is saying too about not having much fat in it, but man, I'm like, can I get about 10 more minutes, bro? That reveal came so quick.
Yeah.
And we kind of went from this trial to the reveal pretty quickly. But I will say that was one of the best needle drops in the MCU period. Man, I mean, I'm just excited to see the next episode. Yeah, man. Billie Eilish, great needle drop.
That was awesome.
I love it because it just feels, and this is not, I say this in a very positive way. It feels so catered to the teen audience watching. I feel it's very
oh, for sure. I agree.
Very catered to the queer teenage audience that is obsessed with the show right now on Twitter and on Tumblr. It feels so formulated for that. Yes, I see you. Yes, I'm on social media. Yes, I know what you like. We're gonna give it to you. And the people ate it up. And I'm like, yes, you guys are 16-year-olds and you're having so much fun, and I am too, and I love it. So I like it. I like that the tone of the show is very accessible without being cringe.
I 100% agree with you because it knows its target audience, and I think that's the only audience it's trying to appeal to. It's not trying to appeal to the greater MCU, and I think that's something that that Agatha does well, right? And the Penguin too. They know their audience.
For
And they're
sure.
not trying to be something they aren't. Like the Penguin's not trying to be a Batman
Mass
show.
appeal.
It's not trying to be a Batman. It's not trying to be the Batman and stuff. We know we're a gangster HBO Soprano style gangster show.
Yep.
And I love that Agatha's like, hey, we're witchy. We have a teenage audience. We have an LGBTQIA plus audience. We're going to appeal to the people we know love this material and not try to appeal to the wider and I think that's what these spinoff shows should be doing.
Exactly.
Appeal to the niche crowds. Like give us niche folk who love this content. Give us the goods.
Exactly. And and
Well said,
the thing
Leo.
about niche audiences, they are loyal. They will tune in. Even if you don't have the marketing budget, we'll make it for you. They're going to do the Tumblr edits. They're going to do the fan edits. They're going to do the fan cams on TikTok. You know how many fan cams I've seen of Aubrey Plaza on this series? So many. The people are obsessed. And it's great. And it's cool to see. And as well, and I wanted to mention, not only is it a largely LGBTQIA audience because of obviously the content, and you have Catherine Hahn there, and as well as Aubrey Plaza, you have Joe Locke, who is the star of Heartstopper, which is thriving on its 4th season right now, and is, believe it or not, bringing in a large pool of this audience over to Disney Plus. And let me tell you, when you get the teen stands going in, they will lock in. And I feel like those are audiences that more studios should invest in, because they really just thrive. Look at Bridgerton, look at Heartstopper, and look at Agatha Now, as well as a plethora of different series. Bringing in the numbers.
You'll love to see it. And I cannot wait for next week. What is it? It releases on Tuesdays, right?
Wednesday. Wednesday's gonna be terrible on the internet. I have to go like in silent airplane mode on Wednesday at work. I'm
unfortunately,
gonna have to, sit down. I'm gonna take my iPad to work and watch it over my lunch break, just so that I can use Twitter.
People are ruthless, so yeah, be careful out there. I for the longest time I couldn't figure out what I wanted to name him, but you know what? My friend Penny here thinks we should be talking about another show.
Ooh.
Wah, 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 wah. So Leo caught up. He's seen the newest episode. Me and Eli are an episode behind. But guys, last week was a doozy too, though, and it had me on an emotional roller coaster because I like this kid. I like Vic. I'm rooting for him. But my friend, life choices, sir. Look, I don't know what he feels like he needs to prove to Oz. Like, I understand. Like, Oz is showing a lot more heart in this episode than we've seen the entire show. There was some really emotional bonding between the two, but still, it's like, do you want this lifestyle? Because even from the beginning, he didn't look like he wanted this lifestyle. And I'll be honest, I know for the narrative, we kind of need to see him continue this journey with Oz, but there was a part of me that was just like, go be with your girl, get out of here, run, kid, go home. But when you're
a kid, it's like, I don't want you anymore, go away.
But for the sake of the drama, and of course the show needs to tell its story, unfortunately he is knee deep now in this underworld, and we went on a little chase to close out. What was it?
He's in the thick of it.
Yes. Where's that from again? Those kids?
The backyardigans?
The knots? Yeah. Or whatever. Is it the shenanigans? Yeah. What are they called?
Backyardigans.
Yeah.
So what I think it is when it comes to Vic, I think what this proves is that Oz is such a sweet talker. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, he knows how to bring that out of the kid. Because he addressed his father in this episode. He showed him what it's like to be in this lifestyle, and he gave him a taste of the status that he could have. So he had Vic warming up to this lifestyle that's, even though it's bad, even though it's a crime, he had him warming up to that, and he changed Vic's mind. It is Oz's amazing skills at tricking people that got Vic to come back. Oh, not KSI is in the thick of it. Oh, he sure is.
Good Lord.
They done already made 40,000 shorts out of his rap song. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Penguin, this last episode, y'all, fire. And I'm not talking about the recent one, I'm talking about episode 3. What I love about this episode is the beginning connecting the Batman. Yet again, we get these little pieces throughout the show where they connect the Batman so well and show you like, hey, remember, even though you're watching the Penguin, this is still the Batman here we're talking about. And I like that it showed the repercussions of Riddler's actions on a grand scale. Not just Batman not able to save a couple people, but also we see in the Batman, he's leading the people out of the flood and stuff. We see Batman saving a lot of people, but what about the people he didn't save? And the people, the teenagers and kids who lost their parents. Just a crazy episode in terms of perspective on this world. And then, yeah, you get the whole drug thing and that ending, man. It's just proving he's such a crook. Just proving he's a crook, man. Like, I know a lot of us were surprised, like, oh my God, he betrays Sophia. And then you sit and you think about it and you're like, wait, this dude's a villain. He's terrible. Horrible person.
You know, his superpower is manipulation. He's a schemer, and he manipulates people. So
he's literally what was it, Littlefinger in Game of Thrones?
Yeah, yep.
That's a good example.
Thank you.
Yes,
Galaxy Brain
playing both sides, just slithering.
He is truly like this fun little snake who's playing both sides because you know whose team he's on? His own.
Absolutely.
That just makes for good television. We're not necessarily rooting for him, but damn, are we compelled?
Well said. Well said.
Love to see conflict.
Yeah, and I think seeing Vic's, like, we didn't see all of his backstory, but just seeing that little bit, seeing his family, seeing his girlfriend, that was really needed because I needed to know more about the kid, and then all the more it really created drama as we went further into that episode. As we, he became the bagman. He's trying to leave town.
That's really
Graciela or Gabriella or what's her name?
I don't remember.
Oh,
the girlfriend.
Yeah,
Gabriella, yeah. So she's like texting him, like, "Hey, we're leaving soon," and then he's like in the club. So I love the back and forth between the pull, like the pull. There's the girl, and then the other girl, the drugs.
The conflict.
Yes.
That's what we all need to see. I think
really good storytelling.
It's really the strength of the Penguin. These are very, very like rich 1 hour episodes. We're not skimming. We're not skimming fat here. We're not cutting corners versus Agatha. This one is like we're giving it all, and you're gonna sit down and you're gonna like take it old school style. For real.
All I can say is this next episode is gonna make you think this person deserves an Emmy. That's all I'm saying, man. This episode another goddamn level. Yeah, I was like, the acting, I thought the acting was good in the episodes, and now I'm like, this is something else.
Real TV.
Yeah, this show done already ran off with more quality television. This is phenomenal.
Hell yeah. That's just honestly so reassuring and exciting to see. Once again,
and even that brief conversation that Sophia and Oz had where she was like, he was like trying to like apologize to her, like, "Hey, I screwed you over, but like even that conversation was kind of like, damn, like these two are just chewing this scenery up, man. Like they're just so good. I
love how they riff off of each other. They really do. I think it's again old school. This is just feels very old school East Coast premium television.
East Coast, absolutely. I literally said in my video, I was like, NYPD, I mean Gotham City, because I'm like, damn, it feels like we're in New York, man. Like we in the slums.
I mean, it is. Like at least the bits I've seen, it very much feels like places I've seen in New York.
Absolutely.
So it would not surprise me if they filmed there.
Be shady. Just a second, we will be talking about it in just a few moments. But Leo, did you see Saturday Night?
Not yet, but I'm going to address this comment real quick. Sorry, I just got to address this. I know because it's been a rough weekend for Colorado sports. We're going to talk next week because it's been rough. None of the teams have won.
But yeah, if you guys are ready, we can move into the roundup.
Yeah, sure. Did you guys watch Saturday Night? I haven't seen it.
No, I was gonna watch it. I mentioned it to you yesterday. I was thinking of watching it, and I just stayed home and rested. But tomorrow's a holiday here, so I might do some chores and might catch it in the afternoon. I hope, because I do really want to see it.
Good.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into the main chunk of the show. Hee hee hee. Ho ho ho. Holy crap. Spooky season continues, y'all. If you guys are new, we kick off the roundup with a check of the box office pulse, and holy hell, Art the Clown has arrived. And guys, just for context, this Damien Leone wrote and directed this film series, a franchise now. He started with a very minuscule, like, short films that he eventually grew into a bigger film, and then that film got crowdfunded in Terrifier 2, which made a crap ton of money. I think it was like a double-digit millions off of a $250,000 budget. And now we're on part 3. It is here. It came out this weekend, and it hacked its way into an $18.3 million haul for the number 1 spot. And this film's budget was $2 million. So this guy is just, there's an audience here. And, hats off to Damien Leone. He actually does a lot of the practical effects for this film. It's not for the squeamish. It's not for everybody. And I'll be honest, I'm not even an Art the Clown stan, but I appreciate the filmmaking behind these films. It's definitely, obviously has an audience. I was a little bit disappointed overall with the film, but I think for the ones that like art, the people that are here for it, you'll have a good time. So if you like the first few Terrifiers, I know that Eli and Leo, they're not really into it either. If you like the first few Terrifiers, number 3 will not disappoint. I was just hoping for something more, but we got some great cameos in it. And, to be fair, like I said, the filmmaking aspect of it is really admirable if you're watching for that. But from one clown to another, Art knocked off The Joker, which drops to number 3 with an abysmal. Oh, sorry, I skipped The Wild Robot. The Wild Robot came in at number 2, 13.5 mil in its third week, and then Joker drops to number 3 with 7.1 mil. And guys, this is one of the worst bombs in recent history, but yet another bomb from DC. They're not getting their money back. This is a complete and utter failure. Closing out the top 5, we got Beetlejuice, and Pharrell's Piece by Piece slid into the top 5. Not by much, only made a few mil, but they're in the top 5. So we were talking about this earlier, Eli. I know you're not into Terrifier, but crazy, right? This little indie film that could.
Again, not into Terrifier, but what a great FU to DC. Just like, hi, hello, look at this original story that we have crafted on this minimal budget, and look at our profit margin. Boom.
Yeah, exactly. Like 2 mil, like that's like 9 times its budget. 9 times its budget. And I guarantee you for the next couple of weeks, it's probably gonna make a few. It might get close to 40 or 50 mil. Like this might have some word of mouth.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, shit. Halloween's 2 weeks away. People are definitely into like. I don't know if to consider this like a more future cult classics. Definitely in the genre. It's not the first time I've heard of Terrifier. I have many friends who are big Terrifier fans. It's just not for me. But yeah, again, once you have a niche, you have an audience. That audience is going to be loyal.
Oh damn! Hey, Tyler's calling me out. Hey man, I had a long night. And I actually watched it again, okay? I watched it twice just because I'm a completionist, so I had to watch it again to get the full story, but I didn't miss much.
The shade. Wow.
And you know what's interesting too, Eli, to that point? It's like I think Joker kind of missed its audience and kind of did its own thing where Terrifier kind of fed to its audience. So I think it's like 2 different spectrums of like movie making, like one movie doing its own thing and just tanking, pissing off the audience, and then another film just giving the fans what they want, right? So
yeah,
Leo, I know you're not into clowns, man, but this is huge. Terrifier, number 1 at the box office.
Sorry, guys. Like I was saying last week, I don't know what was up with stream over there. Like I was saying last week, Warner Brothers, you got to be looking yourself in the mirror and laughing because, man, this is a mess. The joke's on us for watching this crap. The joke's on
a few of us that did.
Employees. The joke's on the employees who got behind this. Joker 2 was not it. It really wasn't. And here's the thing. This just proves the power of not only reviews and critics, but also the audience. The people who are going to see these things, like in the beginning, the super fans who were there. Man, their voices are so important because, yeah, people were walking out of this saying it was horrible, saying Joker 2 was terrible. I have friends messaging me saying Joker 2 is abysmal. Like, what happened? What the heck? It just is a terrible film. And this is bomb at the bomb. I mean, DC, we had The Flash do bad. We had Blue Beetle, unfortunately, did not do great. Black Adam did terrible. Shazam 2 bombed at the box office. This is bad, man. And this is just, listen, Gunn and Safran have nothing to do with this, but it does make it a little harder for Superman in this field of DC bombs, man. Like, Superman's going to have to come out flying high in order to win. And then when it comes to horror, what horror is doing so right is its tiny budgets. It's making these small budget horror films that appeal to a niche audience who are showing up and loving it, eating it up. And I think Warner Brothers and Disney can look and study this formula a little bit. I'm not saying they should go make horror movies. I'm saying they got to squeeze them budgets down. Because if you're looking at Joker 2, there's no reason that should have been $200 million. No reason at all.
Nope.
We're going to have to start squeezing these budgets down because that first Joker was 20 mil, 40 mil. Like, they got to get back to that. Because that's pretty bad. That's a very bad loss. And then Beetlejuice, why did y'all put it on rent, VOD? Why is it on digital? People are still watching this. The niche audiences are loving Beetlejuice. I don't know why the hell they put that on digital. Like, you're just making it easy for people to go pirate it. Because I know digital, you got to pay the $30. Whatever, people are pirating. Like, they're going to be bootlegging that. I don't know how many people think that people are going to pay $30. That's not happening. The pirating is happening. So, yeah, Warner Brothers, all in all, just bad. And then piece by piece, we talked about it briefly last week. Thank you for asking that question, Laser. Yeah, it's not looking like it's going to do too much. It's just too niche, and it's kind of just too weird of an idea. Not that I love Pharrell Williams, but I don't know that kids who like Lego movies are rushing to see a Pharrell Williams Lego movie.
He is the voice of their minions. He is the voice of the Despicable Me song. Happy.
Well, yeah, I mean, he music-wise, production, he's made great music, but I mean, if you ask kids like who's Pharrell Williams,
no,
like,
of course, no. Truly, what I said was a joke. Like,
oh, okay, I was like, they really know, like
he is the voice of their generation, Leo.
And they don't even know it.
They don't know who's singing "Happy." All they know is that it's Minions. So.
Yeah.
And to your point, here Laser is agreeing, like saying piece by piece is very hard to market.
Yep. Very hard.
Choice.
I don't
look
think
at this.
Kids... Oh, see?
Arthur said he just saw Beetlejuice in theaters, so people are still going.
They're still going. And but to Laser's point, it's like, Laser, are your classmates, do they know Pharrell Williams? You know what I mean? I'm legit asking because it's so hard. It's like, okay, Pharrell is somebody for me and Lo and Ile, but the Lego stuff is for kids and teens. So it's a weird one there.
Right. Like you would probably expect someone to do this that was like catering to that age group, right? And like Pharrell is an OG. He's been making hits for like decades. So yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. I think so, absolutely. Professor Aaron's asking if they think there will be a teaser for Superman during the Super Bowl. I think so, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I think, Aaron, I think they're going to drop a teaser at CCXP, like you're saying, CCXP Brazil this year, and then they'll have a full trailer at Super Bowl. So, yeah, be on the lookout.
Wait, what's CCXP?
It's a yearly expo that happens in Brazil, and it's like one of the bigger. Yeah, DC's revealed some stuff there. I know they dropped like some Wonder Woman stuff there, and yeah.
Oh, damn, I remember.
Have a presence. What's that?
I remember those reveals because like Brazil, oh my god, my mind went blank. CCXP I've always seen is kind of like the San Diego Comic-Con for Latin America.
Yep.
And Latinos go crazy over CCXP because like Warner Brothers, like some studios actually take it seriously, and I think that helps with the legitimacy of it. As a
there
so that's really awesome to see.
There was a post on Threads, James Gunn. I think it was either James Gunn. Oh, it was David Cordsweat on the Men's podcast. He specifically said we're not going to leave this year without some Superman stuff. So
interesting.
CCXP. See, bigger Comic-Con.
Bigger Comic-Con.
Exactly.
Great platform.
Exactly.
Awesome. Good to know, Aaron. But yeah, I don't see any. I mean, I'm surprised Terrifier is doing this well. It's crazy. It's actually now the most lucrative film in the franchise. What do you guys think about the Wild Robot hanging around at number 2, 13.5 mil? That budget was only 78 mil, and it's doing. I think worldwide it's almost at 400 almost. So
I think it makes sense. I mean, it's only like animated kids. I mean, besides Piece by Piece, but we've already talked about that. I think it's the only kind of like kid and family appealing movie on the list. Like families aren't that we're not taking kids to see Terrifier. We're not taking the kids to see Joker too.
Right.
Beetlejuice, and that are the only, and you can get Beetlejuice at home. So.
Yeah, well, also, I don't think that one caters to children at all either. But Transformers is out there. So it's either Transformers or the Wild Robot, right? So
yeah, Transformers. Oh man, poor Transformers.
Just in the dust.
I know they dropped out of the top 5 this weekend, and yeah, it looks like they're cooked. No more Optimus for a little while.
I feel like they needed to rethink that release date for Transformers 1. I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie.
Oh no! So Tyler's saying that the Wild Robot's hitting digital soon.
Really?
That sucks.
Yep.
That sucks. Because this movie, I think this movie could have carried over into November if they played their cards right.
It's doing great.
Yeah. Yeah, you hate to see that. What's up with that? Is there some kind of like stipulation with the studios where it's like, oh, we can only have movies in theaters for X amount of time? Because that's crazy to me. Like,
I think they're looking at the box office receipts and seeing, hey, if it ain't pulling what we want, kick it over to digital and you get the $30. You don't have to have as many screens. I think it's kind of like let's draw back and just pull from digital.
Right. Because I think like to your point, there's a cost to having it on screens, right? So
Oh, Tyler just pointed out what I was about to say, that there's a Transformers hype Twitter account that is seriously pushing this film way more than Paramount has.
There's dozens of us. Dozens.
But anyways, shouts out Damien Leone, man. Terrifier is killing it, and I'm sure it's gonna kill the rest of the month. It probably won't get toppled until Venom comes out. So hats off to Art the Clown, even though he's not my favorite horror icon. My guy is right here. I'm more of a Freddy guy, but you know, I respect Art's twisted sense of humor, I guess, if you want to call it that. He's weird. But you know, shouts out to the Terrifier fans.
Who's gonna match his freak?
DC, I know, right? Speaking of DC fans, I mean DC in general, let's jump into our next story. Aaron Pierre has been cast as Jon Stewart, joining Kyle Chandler, who will be Hal Jordan, respectively, in DC's Lantern series on Max. And like I've said this several times before, I'm not really a Green Lantern guy. I don't know the mythos. I don't know the mythology. And I haven't seen enough of Aaron Pierre, if I'm being honest. I remember him as mid-sized sedan in Old. So, like, you know, a lot of people are talking about that action movie he did on Netflix or something like that. I didn't see that one.
Rebel Ridge. I saw that.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. But he, from what I remember, he seems like a fun guy. Leo, how do you feel about this casting? I know you and Mike had some thoughts about it, but I mean, do you like him as an actor?
Yeah, I mean, I think Old, Rebel Ridge, he was in the Genius MLK, Malcolm X is Malcolm X, and did a great job. I think that we got to address the elephant in the room. He has a lighter complexion than what Jon Stewart usually is. And the creator of Jon Stewart himself actually made Jon Stewart darker in skin tone than the comic book black characters at the time, because he felt there was not representation for darker skin characters. So I am a little conflicted just because of that, and just because colorism is such a thing in Hollywood. I mean, most recent and recognizable example in the black community being Halle Berry as Storm. even though I love Halle Berry, I love Storm, that is an African character, is typically colored a little darker. I am really excited for this casting, though. I'm excited for Aaron Pierre. I think that he has a lot of charisma. I think that he showed that in Rebel Ridge, and I trust that Gunn didn't make that decision because of the tone of his skin. But I completely understand how people feel about this, and I think it's justified how they feel about it. I think it's completely justified, and I think there's a lot of back and forth examples, but you have this, and it's like, well, this is a recent example, and it is a problem, unfortunately. But all in all, I am excited for Jon Stewart to finally be in a live action Green Lantern project. I grew up with Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, and Jon Stewart and The Flash were always my favorite characters in the show. So it's like, finally, I get my Green Lantern that I grew up with. The Ryan Reynolds disaster, we can sweep that under the rug and continue forward. And I think him and Kyle Chandler will have a lot of excellent chemistry on screen together. So I'm very excited. I have a little bit of an irk just because of what's going on there. But at the same time, I'm very excited to see this character in live action. And Aaron Pierre's got the chops, in my opinion. Oh, he's also going to be Mufasa, young Mufasa. He's going to be voicing that character.
Oh.
Yeah, so that'll be dropping in December. So, yep, he'll be young Mufasa.
Right.
Yep, Rebel Ridge, very solid.
Yeah, Tony was saying solid. Aaron Pierre is a great choice.
Yeah, 100%.
Eli, how do you feel about Mr. Pierre?
I think I'm kind of in your boat in the sense of I'm not super duper familiar with the mythos of Green Lantern. I believe from the little that I have seen from this character in the comic books, he is also supposed to be, and Leo, please correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this Jon Stewart supposed to be like also older? Like kind of like a more mature guy, or is that just kind of dependent on the comic
for
run?
the most part, yes. But like at the same time, there are times where him and Hal are the same age.
Okay.
There are times
Gotcha.
where Hal's a little older. Yeah, it depends on
Okay.
the run.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of depend on this. Yeah. I think I'm just really with Leo on this in terms of the colorism. I think it is really unfortunate to see that once again we don't get to see a darker skinned actor in this role. This happened a lot. This happened in The Heights. And this happens a lot with Afro Latinos and black characters in media where they tend to get just completely light washed all over, and it's just not fair. At the very least, I think Aaron Pierre is a good actor. I think he could very well do the part justice. I don't think that's the issue here. I think the issue is we could have given another actor of a darker complexion a chance to do this role justice.
You know what's interesting is you were talking about In the Heights. What's the name of that guy that played Dr. Dre in Straight Outta Compton, and he was also in The Heights?
Corey something.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
His last name.
I'll say he's pretty good.
Well,
like him.
The other guy who was in the running was oh my gosh, what Stephen James, who was in Babes. I don't know if y'all seen that. He was the dad in Babes, and he was also in If Beale Street Could Talk. He was the male love interest. So he is a lot closer to the look, for sure. Like his complexion is a lot closer to Jon Stewart's. But yeah, and this is true. Art's right.
Corey Hawkins. He was in Tragedy of Macbeth as well. He was phenomenal.
Yeah, and Arthur and Josan have been pointing out, yeah, Jon Stewart's kind of stern. He was in the military. He's a vet. He trained with Hal. So yeah, but they're kind of changing things up a little bit and kind of having him come under Hal's wing. And I'm really excited to see him and Kyle Chandler back and forth, though. I think Kyle was a great pick for Hal. Josh Brolin was not it, though.
Yeah, that was a strange thing to have in the mix there.
Let me direct this question to you, Leo, because Professor Aaron's asking about like the mystery that's going to play out here. That it's supposed to be a true detective style buddy cop kind of thing, uncovering a greater mystery in the American heartland. Do you have any inkling of what that could possibly be, this mystery?
No idea, but I'm very excited, and I love that we're going the true detective route with how the Penguin's going right now. I've got a lot of faith in Lanterns. I think that DC using the HBO brand, not only does it speak to them wanting to bring some quality to the show, production quality to this show, but just seeing where the Penguin's at right now, and I know that's Matt Reeves, it's not DCU, but seeing where the Penguin's going right now, I just think they're getting like big names, big production. Like they're putting their all into these shows, man.
Yeah,
And
I think that's
the fruits of their labor.
Point. I think Max speaks to quality. What were you saying, Eli?
Oh yeah, sorry to interrupt. No, it's generally like they're investing in quality and they're reaping the fruits of their labor for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Before we move on from the DC, what do we think James Gunn's Superman needs to do to be a great success? And I think you kind of hit the point already, Leo. I think it's just giving us that like hopeful Superman, like someone to root for. And I think like you got to bring the fun back, because I think nothing against Man of Steel, but it was just so somber and so the tone was so gloomy and glum. And it's like Superman's someone you want to look up to in the skies and, you know, be hopeful and feel like he's going to save the day kind of thing. Like
100%. Like exactly what you said there is what it needs. It needs that hopeful energy. We got to get people like hopeful about Superman. Even Brandon Routh, even that Superman was kind of like, well, you're just kind of copying off of Reeve. But like, if we have a hopeful, fun, joyous, funny Superman, like Superman's funny too. Like if we have like a fun, hopeful Superman again, I think, and like Arthur's saying in the comments, inspiring. I think that's what you need. You need a hero, man. Like you said, Lo, somebody to cheer for.
Yeah, I agree. And to answer his follow-up question, I would kind of want James Gunn to do his own thing. I don't want him to do a shot-for-shot tone Richard Donner back in the 70s. No, we already had that with Superman Returns. I think James Gunn needs to do his own thing and have fun with it. So,
love Tyler's comment.
Yeah, I've got the chat's going off right now.
Take out the
I like it. I kind of like the idea of, this is going to sound super duper random, and with this we can move on. I love the idea of James Gunn possibly taking more inspiration from the Young Justice series, making it really comic book accurate, but still giving it a good twist, making it hopeful, but also really compelling, and just getting you emotionally invested in these characters again. I think that's what's really missing. And at the end of the day, what's going to make something a box office success, I think a lot of the time is just making a good movie. I think people, once they see a good movie, word of mouth is such a powerful, powerful marketing tool that I feel more studios should value and invest in. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
What do you guys?
And honestly, I think it's going to do well, but that's just me. I'm just have a feeling. But
what do you guys think it was about Man of Steel that didn't make it quite the home run? Do you think it's kind of because Superman was a little more glum? Do you think it was kind of the Zack Snyder?
The whole movie was a little bit more glum in its pacing. I find Man of Steel, it is hopeful, but is very slow for that mass audience appeal. You feel me? I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not criticizing it for that. But in terms of a Superman blockbuster, it really lacks that kind of, like you said, Leo, that more not necessarily comedic, but more casual side of Clark Kent. Like he's very stiff. He's very, so morally upright, that I don't know. I feel like it kind of makes it a little bit boring at times in Man of Steel. That's just me with Man of Steel, though. Like I'm not a Man of Steel, like, diehard fan in any way, shape, or form. I just find it to be really long and just a little, the pacing is just a little bit overdone.
I love Superman and Lois. Like that show, I'm like, this is
such a fun show.
This is how you do Superman in another completely different context that we haven't seen him before as a dad of twins. And you make Superman that's still this hopeful, joyous, charismatic character. We got to get that back, man. Got to get it back.
Yeah.
And he can be serious honestly, when he needs to be.
Yeah. I actually really, really like Man of Steel up until he gets into the big theatrical fist fights where it just like I don't know, like the fights were like cool, but then it was just kind of a little bit too much, and then it got like the third act for me just it kind of loses its way, and then it's like okay, they punch really hard, and it just kept going, and I was like, all right, they're gonna keep punching each other, and I just felt like they could have done more with that or less with less is more sometimes. So
100%.
And totally Chappy, but I think when it comes to like a Superman movie, we want to be a little closer to 800, 900. Like at least Man of Steel should have been.
Oh yeah, it should have been way bigger than that.
Long ago.
And don't hear what I'm not saying, Tony. I enjoy it. I don't love Man of Steel. I think it's fine. I think it's a good movie, but I don't love it. Tyler.
Oh, that was a mess.
Paul can't. Paul can't.
Don't save me. I'm like, dude.
Oh my god, dude! I saw Man of Steel like an opening weekend with my family, and I remember like being such a hater when I left that theater. I was like,
same.
Really?
Yeah. No, for real. I was like,
wow.
I was a fucking teenager. I was like, my brothers were super hype, and I was like, that was not good.
No, I hate
it. And eventually, like it grew on me, and I'm like, I can see the good in it. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
I'm not that girl.
Yeah, I think the first act, especially, I think I really like the first act. But you know, seeing Krypton, and I liked Russell Crowe as Jor-El.
For sure. I think it's just the way that it tries to develop the story, so it feels like it's moving through molasses.
Yeah.
Oh, Art said the pacing of Saw is extremely restrained. It isn't fun. It's meditative. Its core philosophy is you're a guard among men, and Soups never sees himself as that. Couldn't have said it better as myself.
Well said, Arthur. But we do got a few more stories to get into, guys. So let's venture away from the DC for a second and talk about, speaking of Man of Steel, Henry Cavill is set to star in a live-action Voltron film. And if you guys don't know, this was huge in the 80s, okay, guys? I'm not really a big Voltron guy myself, but it kind of like was very Power Rangers-esque. You know, you get these big mecha robots that combine into an even bigger mecha robot. And they're piloted by like a team of is it teens, Leo, or like adults? I don't know, Pacific Rim style. But
young adults, teens,
young adults. Okay, but like, here's my thing. I think with the Transformers universe kind of falling apart, I think there is a space for big robots, and I think people like that. I mean, look at the first Pacific Rim. I think people are into it. However, I don't know how popular Voltron is. I know it was huge back then. I don't know how it relates to kids now. And as much as I want to see Henry Cavill in more things, I don't know. He kind of has a hit and miss track record sometimes when he's not doing huge blockbusters. And I know that maybe he wants this to be one for him, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see a trailer and see how the robots look and stuff like that. But Eli, are you familiar with Voltron? Because I wasn't really.
I've heard of it. I understand it. I respect it. I think this is scraping the IP barrel, guys. I'm not gonna lie. This is
that's what it kind of feels like. Like he's just pulling at something like, hey, this might be big.
This title alone feels like somebody put it through ChatGPT. Like this is just the concept of Henry Cavill. It's a Mad Lib. Henry Cavill, okay, is set to star in live action, okay, famous IP Voltron film. Okay. That's
like
how I feel about it. I could not possibly muster another thought about this. I really don't think I could.
Oh my god. Okay, so Laser's one of the younger audiences. We always appreciate him though in the chat. He's saying the dad bods are the only ones that will watch this.
See, that's there's great. A niche audience for everything, Lo.
That was great. Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, like I said, Transformers is kind of faltering, but that's kind of like the same audience I think that they're trying to get. Leo, do you think this is one for one, or do you think there's not enough of an audience here?
I think you had a really good point when it comes to Transformers being outside of the mainstream right now. Man, Voltron Netflix had a huge fandom, and there was tons of toxicity happening, and like there's a modern Voltron audience, all right. Okay. I will say the last few seasons of that Voltron Netflix show were very hard to get through. But the first few seasons are actually super duper dope. And I hope they go with that kind of sharper, more modern edge that the Netflix anime brought. And Voltron, I mean, I think the fan base needs another jump start though, because it was back in like 2016, 2017. Oh yeah, it was rolling on Netflix. It's kind of teetered off now. Like, so they need this restart here, but Henry, oh man, I just, it's so upsetting to see his career, because didn't really get the chance to play Superman he wanted. Then it's like every other movie he's in doesn't really do well at the box office. What was that? Ungentlemanly Warfare didn't really do well at the box office.
Argyle
was good in it. Argyle didn't do well. I'm like the only Argyle fan on earth. But
and then what was it? He was in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I don't think anybody saw that either.
Yeah, no.
Hey, I saw that in the theater.
But you and like 10 other people, Eli.
You know, for some, that's one the dad bods went to see. Let me freaking tell you, that theater was packed in 2015, and you know what? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was really, really funny.
No, I heard it's, look, I'm not trying to dump on it. I like Guy Ritchie, and I heard it's underrated, but it didn't do that great in the box office. It was
no, not at all. But it is one of his better films. I think it's like possibly one of the last few good films he's made.
Oh my goodness, Rawson Marshall Thunder, didn't he do Red Notice with Gal Gadot and The Rock?
Oh God,
is that who this is? Because that's got me kind of nervous, guy. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about this one, guys.
I will admit though, I did love the Man from U.N.C.L.E., and then I agree with what Arthur's saying here. We are agreeing a lot lately, sir. I do think this needs to control its budget. Like, y'all can't come out the gate with $250 million on this thing.
Please tighten that Voltron down. Stop motion.
Tighten that budget down. Stop motion. It's like every time they combine, it's like a claymation.
Hey. And also, what do you think about this, Leo? Because he was saying that Henry Cavill needs better representation, because it's like he seems really talented, but he's not like landing the right projects.
Yeah, it's just, it's like I was saying, I feel so bad because it's like he didn't get to play the Superman he wanted, and then everything he's done since hasn't really bankrolled anything.
Got that whole mess with The Witcher, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate for him, man. He's
a passionate guy. Like he genuinely, like, when he has a character or role he wants to play, he's really passionate about it. And everyone else in the room is like, "All right, bud, cool it down." I'm like, "Well, damn."
I know, like,
give him a break.
Okay, hold on. So Rawson also directed Dodgeball. Look, if that's the case, okay, maybe what he needs to do is he needs to lean into the comedy then. Like, if we're gonna have big ass robots, he needs to lean into the comedy. And I think, like Leo and Arthur were saying, keep the budget down, and then maybe we'll have like one of those dark horse blockbusters. Maybe.
You know, I just hope it'll be okay for Henry's sake.
As long as he's not in another Enola Holmes, it's all good.
Oh,
right. He also directed Central Intelligence, which I kind of liked. I didn't hate Central Intelligence. So.
Slow down on the Enola Holmes hate. Some of us love Enola Holmes, okay?
I think they're fun. I watch them with my dad.
Wait. Wait, so he was Sherlock, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The second one was
the most
better,
yoked,
because he was
the most yoked Sherlock I've ever seen.
That man is stacked, okay? Brick wall.
He is.
I know y'all saw that back in Deadpool. And was like, that ain't Hugh. Like, Hugh,
hey,
you're slimmer than that.
I didn't even know it was him. Like, you guys had to tell me, and I was like, wait, that was Henry Cavill.
Oh, stacked back. I was like, man, that old back big, bro. That is not Hugh Jackman's back.
That was not the Australian outback, sir. No, sir.
So, us here at the Roundup, we wish Henry Cavill well. We'll see how the Voltron does. We'll wait till we get a trailer. This one, guys, I'm so excited for. Ready or Not 2 is officially greenlit. If you guys aren't familiar, it was directed by Radio Silence. The directors behind Scream 5 as well and Scream 6. God, I can't pronounce their names, but it's really they're really awesome. I love their work. Ready or Not is so funny. It's a horror comedy. As you see in the photo here, Samara Weaving is locked and loaded, fighting for her life by this crazy family that has this weird ritual of hunting people or whatever it was. And I love this movie. I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm wondering, are they going to rework this story? Is she just going to stumble into another family? Like, I'm just curious, like, where they take this story. But Leo, were you a fan of the first Ready or Not?
Oh, loved it. It was my favorite horror movie of 2019. I love this movie.
Whoa, 2019.
Yeah, it's been a while. I love the comedy horror spectrum of things like Fear Street, this, recently It's What's Inside. Like, that's kind of also talked to me. That kind of horror is like made for me. I love it. This is just, but I feel like the end did set up to maybe a sequel, and maybe she's somehow involved in it happening with someone else. Maybe she's kind of like the hero, like in The Babysitter or something. I don't know. I want to see how they incorporate this character and how, like you said, Lo, how are we going to continue the story? But I kind of feel like that ending where she had the cigarette, I was like, they're going to go somewhere else with that. There's going to be some more. There's more to tell.
Also, shouts out Abigail, which came out this year. I loved Abigail.
Another one under that umbrella of comedy horror that I just love.
Wasn't there a rumor that Melissa Barrera might also be attached to this project, or is that just like somebody wishful thinking?
I didn't hear about
her and everything,
because I saw a tweet being like, "Oh, Melissa Barrera is gonna be is rumored to be Ready or Not," but it was like a random Twitter account saying that. So that's not a reputable source. But then I saw Tyler mentioning it in the chat.
Let me put respect on their names. Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette. I'm sorry, it's just the first guy. I can never say his name. Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette. They formed Radio Silence, and they did Ready or Not and Abigail. Awesome work, and the 2 Scream films, of course. But Eli, were you a big fan of this one?
I actually haven't seen the first one in its entirety. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it just came out the other day. Yes, I know.
What?
Cue the shock. Cue the shock.
Look.
Cue the shock.
Wait, Eli, what do you mean you only watched part of it? Were you at like a party or something? What happened?
I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie.
You
well, it's probably because here's the thing. When I was living with my dad watches movies all the time. He's always got movies on in the living room. He's retired. So sometimes I could just walk in the living room, sit down, watch a bit of a movie, get up, continue on with my day. So it was probably that kind of situation. And I just did not sit down and continue it. But I definitely have been intrigued to watch it. I do need to get around to it. But when you said in 2019, it boggled my mind because I swear to God, I feel like this came out like 2 years ago.
Wow.
This feels like yesterday. That's insane to me.
I will say there is one more member of Radio Silence. I think his name is Chad Villela. And I think this is the first time he's going to be directing, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know the other 2 directed the other one. I don't know if he'll be directing right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know the split between the 3 of them, but I know all 3 of them make up Radio Silence, and the 2 did the direction. But I think somehow this the third member is somehow involved. I don't know their split in involvement though.
They probably bounce ideas off each other. I mean, if they're a group collab like that, so.
Oh look, yep, Babysitter. The first one I liked. Tony movie.
I heard a lot about that one too.
I'm struggling to get through that sequel. I'm sorry, Tony movie.
Oh damn.
You know what's good too? It's not really, really horror, but Mayhem with Stephen Yuen.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I definitely have a watch list. I got a solid watch list now.
Yeah, honestly, Samara is great. She needs to be in more things, not less.
Every time I'm
she was in Scream 6 for like 5 seconds.
Right? Like, she was also in Snake Eyes.
She was in Babylon, believe it or not.
Wait, she was in Snake Eyes? What?
Yep. Oh my God, in Babylon, she's like Margot Robbie's like.
Yeah, like competition.
Oh, that's
so good.
She's so good. She's barely in that movie, but she's so good in it.
Finally, they got those two on camera together because they got some.
Yeah, it was a gag. Similar. It was truly a gag because they do look so similar.
Yeah.
And then
but damn, she ate that role.
Tyler's saying Terrifier 4, but he was also saying throw Melissa Barrera in this movie, and I think like horror Twitter wants to see Samara Weaving and Melissa Barrera in more things and possibly things together. I think that'd be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Any love for Jennifer's body, guys?
On a rewatch, I really like Jennifer's body. The first time I saw it, I was like, eh. But it's kind of like that. It's just like Lisa Frankenstein. That is that style of horror. It's so niche. So
campy.
Kind of kooky.
Campy.
Yeah, it's got that campy kookiness to it, and I really like it, man. Like it works for me.
No, I'll admit I didn't love it at first, but it grew on me. It definitely grew on me.
Listen, Diablo Cody. I guess I'm a slave to you. I like her.
And also, I loved Lisa Frankenstein, guys. I actually wrote a review for it on the Cinema Spot, but that was a good one. I like that one.
Get that plug in.
She also did Juno, Diablo Cody.
Yeah, Academy Award-winning Diablo Cody.
Mm-hmm.
But to close out the night, y'all, the upcoming Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio Karate Kid film is officially titled Karate Kid Legends. It will be co-starring Ming-Na Wen and Joshua Jackson. I'll be honest, look, I wasn't into Dawson's Creek, right? Because that's like his most famous thing. But I remember the Mighty Ducks, and he was Charlie in the Mighty Ducks. He was their captain. So I know you, Joshua Jackson. I know you. I love Ming-Na Wen. She was the original voice of Mulan. Obviously, Fennec Shan more recently in The Mandalorian. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stand up. But yeah, this is gonna be fun. I can't wait. Wait, I'm just curious though. Is there gonna be no mention of Jaden Smith? Is he just gonna vanish from this universe?
I think man. I think they scrubbed his ass. But I mean, maybe I don't know. Cause I don't think he's gonna come back in Cobra Kai either. I think they were like, man, we like Mr. Han, but Jaden's acting is not good anymore.
I would have loved to have seen him, but also sorry, shouts out to Ben Wang, who will be the new Karate Kid. He's in the photo there. Not sure who's gonna tutor him, whether it's gonna be both Mr. Han and Daniel San. I don't know.
What I think this is complete speculation. Maybe even Ming-Na Wen is in on this. I think it's kind of going to be this conflict of philosophies, similar to what you see in Cobra Kai, but on a big screen level, where it's okay, you've got this new kind of scrappy young fighter in Ben Wang, and it's you've got these two philosophies, the Mr. Miyagi and the Mr. Han philosophies of karate, and I think actually Mr. Han is kung fu. So you're gonna have these kind of dueling personalities, I think, and dueling philosophies between the two. I think. I don't know. Again, I don't know.
So Joe-san's asking if it's a reboot, and it's more of a crossover, Joe-san.
Yeah,
so we are crossing the streams, as the Ghostbusters would say. Ile, are you a Karate Kid fan? I can't remember because me and Leo always talk about Cobra Kai, but are you with us? Are you on board?
I saw it. I've seen it. I've seen some of Cobra Kai because my fiance is a big fan. My fiance is the Karate Kid lover here. He loves Cobra Kai. He's super into it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's caught up. So I think through him is what I know of this. But yeah, that sounds really fun. I think again, these are the stories that are a little more niche, but still has room to grow and be something more, even though it is a sequel, still be something original in its own right. So yeah, definitely something that looks fun and that my fiance would be looking forward to. That's for sure.
And what's interesting, right? So Tony's saying this takes place after Cobra Kai. I'm wondering how much it will tie in.
Yeah,
how much is Cobra Kai gonna lead into this, right?
Right. So. I'm not sure. I kind of wish it tied directly into it, but I guess you got to end Cobra Kai. But answering Tyler's question, I think I haven't seen anything, by the way. I think at the end of Cobra Kai season, this newest season 6, part 2, I think that's where we'll see Hilary Swank.
That would be awesome. What was she? The next Karate Kid, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, that movie's so bad. That movie's horrible. Horrible.
I know. It's so bad.
It's so bad.
But those monks, the monks were great. They went bowling and stuff like that. I like
yeah,
those
they were
guys.
having the time of their lives.
But what sucks too is like Pat Morita, you could tell he was getting older, and you could tell. I think he took the check on that one. He just.
Oh, absolutely. Pat, you got to do what you got to do, brother. I ain't blaming you. Get that money.
But yeah, I think we are all in agreement here. We are eagerly anticipating this next installment, but we'll see. Hopefully we'll get a trailer within the next year or so.
Absolutely. All right, crew, let's go around the horn. Tell the people what we got coming up and where they can find us. Starting with you, Elay.
Hello, you can find me at Kat Melendez on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And you can also find me here every Sunday on Geekly Goods Live, as well as on the Puerto Rico Critics Association podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at PR Critics and listen to us on Spotify.
Got any projects coming up?
That. The podcast. I think we're gonna have a bit more festival coverage as the film festival season is on its way out. We got a few festivals coming up still here in Puerto Rico, so we're gonna be covering that on the podcast. I'm very excited.
Man, I'm excited too. Definitely gonna be covering Denver Film Festival. We got The Order coming up. We got what else is at the festival? The piano lesson. Some goodies, man. Some goodies. Lo, let the people know where they can find you. What you got coming up?
Oh, yes. You can find me and Penny on Twitter and Letterboxd at Marcel. At Marcellus Durden. Just blocking my view here. Proud editor and critic for the Cinema Spot. Check us out on all socials at the Cinema Spot. And on the cinemaspot.com, we got a lot of great film and TV reviews. Most recently, we have Joker Folie Deux. We've been covering Fantastic Fest. We've watched Mads, The Brutalist, and Daddy's Head, a horror film from the Fantastic Fest series. Check that out. We also have a review for Rings of Power, the newest season of the Lord of the Rings mythology on Amazon Prime. So check us out at thecinemaspot.com.
Man, that Brutalist sold out in like minutes for Denver Film Festival. It didn't even open up to the public. It was like the members of Denver Film and some of the donors got those tickets bought up. So that
film's got a lot of buzz.
Yeah, that one's generating a lot of buzz. But thank you guys so much, everybody, for joining. We had a lot of people in. Joe Sign pulling back up, Art pulling back up. Good to see you guys. Tyler, coming up on the channel. Tomorrow we will have another reaction video for Only Murders in the Building, as well as Superman and Lois. Tuesday, finally seeing the Wild Robot. So come on over to the channel for that reaction as well. Wednesday, Agatha. Thursday, going to have a review for Smile 2. And then Friday, I'm probably going to take the day off, y'all. So come on over to the channel and then come back to this channel and the main channel, Geekly Goods, every single week for movie news live at this time, 7:15 p.m. PT. Come on back, y'all, and we'll see you next time on Geekly Goods.